12:05 in the afternoon on this Wednesday. It's time for Helping Seniors of Brevard. And to get things underway for this Wednesday, as we all kind of dance around to that music, our host for today, filling in for Carrie Fink, is Jennifer Barton. And Jennifer, always a delight to see you behind the microphone there. And you have a special guest with us here today in studio.
I do, John. Thank you so much. It's great to be here on behalf of Joe Steckler, our president, and Carrie Fink, our executive director. Welcome to the Helping Seniors radio show. I do have a wonderful visitor. I'll go ahead and introduce her right away. It's none other than Kara Anderson from Simplified Senior Living. Good afternoon, Kara.
Jennifer, I am so glad to be here. It is such a nice time just to spend the day before Thanksgiving with some of my favorite people and reminiscing a little bit with Mr. Harper there behind the mic, and just being able to relive some of these radio glory days with you, Jennifer, at the helm is going to be a good time.
Well, the three of us actually go way back here on the radio. We've been around a long time.
And you mentioned that Kara was one of the first visitors to the radio station way back when with you and Joe Steckler.
That's right. That's right. I remember that well. And I was saying before we went on the air, you two ladies don't age. You look as beautiful today as you did way back then in the 90s.
And John, you're just as handsome. Of course, I was 12 then, and I believe you were in your mid-20s. So
that's right. I was in my mid-20s.
So let's just go with that.
We're very thankful for that.
Yes, we're very thankful. Speaking of thankful, Jennifer, that was a great way to kick off.
Good segue.
Thank you, John, for one of the things that we are thankful for, not only is this radio station, but for Jennifer, who is going to walk us through this path of thankfulness today.
There you go. We thought, hey, since it is the day before Thanksgiving, we would talk about some of the things that we are thankful for. And one of the things that we're especially thankful for at Helping Seniors is our sponsors and all of the resources that they bring to our seniors. You know, it's an amazing thing. What Helping Seniors as a little nonprofit has done over the last 12 years. I wanted to talk, we posted this on our Facebook and different media pages, but in October, and October was the raffle month, so that this was a little unusually high call volume, but in October we had 881 calls coming through the senior helpline, which it's amazing. The top reasons for seniors calling was housing, household concerns, transportation, legal, and home care being I need help at home, but also I need to move. I need to go into assisted living. And the last one was, assisted living specifically of I need to do something and where do I go? And one of our sponsors happens to be right here in the office, in the studio with us, Carrie Anderson, with Simplified Senior Living. That's something that you actually help with, isn't it?
I do. Thank you for mentioning that. Simplifying Senior Living has been around for the last 8 years. I, as we just heard, have been around a lot longer. But I do want to talk about, before I get to assisted living, since it was last on that list, I do want to talk about some of those other topics that are real hot button issues for the seniors and the folks in our area, and finding resources and figuring out how to answer those questions. I do want to offer Helping Seniors of Brevard has a monthly education series. Of course, in December, it's going to be a holiday party. So
yes,
that's going to be
a lot of
time.
Fun.
Yeah, but every month, and we'll talk more about that towards the end when we're kind of wrapping up all the benefits of Helping Seniors of Brevard, offering our county seniors. But this educational series touches on a lot of those questions and those hot button issues for our seniors in our area. And every month, Carrie sets up fantastic speakers to come in. This past year was really focusing on kind of getting your ducks together, getting your ducks in a row,
exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Creating an aging plan.
Be ready.
So these calls are an exact representation of the questions that are being asked And the purpose of this educational series is to answer those questions and get some of our sponsors in front of our seniors so that they can be readily available to answer these questions and to offer some solutions to some of those pressing issues like housing, like transportation. In fact, transportation was the topic in November?
November, I believe. Yes.
So, I mean, they
September,
are,
November.
Carrie's doing a great job, and the organization as a whole addressing these issues and getting the information out there. It's just up to our seniors to come out and attend this educational series, which is free. And whenever you want to know what's going on with Helping Seniors of Brevard, you can always call 321-473-7770 or hit the Facebook page if you are so inclined and you are tech savvy, because everything is on the Helping Seniors Facebook page.
Yes, all of the events, you can go to the events and say that you're going so we can have a head count. But there's a lot of information on that Facebook page. In fact, this that I'm talking about right now, the total number of calls is listed for October, and in order of what people needed is that list as well for October. So it's an interesting list of what people are needing. But you're right, Kara, it's also a list of the topics that we've been trying to get information out to people. And we want you to have a plan. We want you to know early on, if this happens, what am I going to do? Because if you're making that decision at the very last minute in a crisis moment, it's probably not going to be the best decision. Absolutely. So we want you to be able to talk for yourselves way ahead of time so that you know exactly what's going to happen and you're in charge.
Having a plan is what it's about. So it's really important, I think, to note that not only is Helping Seniors taking these phone calls, keeping track of these phone calls and offering solutions immediately on the phone, but they're also recording that information and tracking the topics that are most important to seniors right now and making sure that we're addressing those through an educational series. Because if it's important to a handful, chances are it's important to a lot.
Exactly.
So those phone calls to 321-473-7770 are super important on a bunch of different levels.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do track those calls so that we know what is happening in the community right here in Brevard County. And we do want to thank our sponsors, because as we look at that list, we try to make sure that we do have resources for the people that have those needs. And that's why I mentioned Simplified Senior Living, because they are a sponsor and they do help with placement in assisted living facilities, making sure that you have the appropriate place for your needs.
Absolutely. Thank you for going back to that, because I went off track, didn't
That's
I?
okay. That's all right.
You started a conversation and I just went a different direction, Jennifer. Thank you so much for bringing it back to me. Gosh.
But when we're so thankful for all of our sponsors, because not only are they sponsors and they help that keep that senior helpline open and running so that we can help our seniors, but they're also, many of them are helping those seniors that call in or other seniors to get the resources that they need, to get the services that they need. And so today we wanted to kind of go down through some of our sponsors and talk about their businesses, the nonprofits that do so much in our community for seniors.
For sure. For sure. Where do you want to get started? Because
Let's
you said,
start
there
at the
are
top
so
of the
many.
list.
Let's start at the top of the list.
Go for it.
All
Who's
right.
first?
So we're talking about our sponsors, and one of the wonderful sponsors of Helping Seniors of Brevard is the law office of Amy Van Fossen. What do you say? I mean, every time you ask her for something, she gives.
Yeah, she does. And I do have to say that my mom has seen Miss Amy. She's gone in for their planning. They had done it up in New York before they had moved down, but it was time. It had been 20, 30 years since they had done everything estate planning wise. So they had Amy review it, and she was really impressed because she said, that was intensive. Yeah. She really went through a lot of things and talked about a lot of things that they did not, back up in New York. So she was very appreciative that Amy took the time with her and went over all of those things, because she feels like she is prepared now.
Absolutely. She's got a booming practice. She's got some great attorneys and paralegals there. She even has a case management department to help with those clients who need more than just documents and paperwork, but actually need somebody to assist them maybe in day-to-day or just be available should the need arise.
Absolutely. And so many more seniors now, the kids are out in California, they're up in New York or Pennsylvania, and mom and dad have moved down here. They've retired down here, and there really is no family. So having a case manager is really important. We see that in the industry. But if you are someone who's down here and you're alone, or maybe never had kids, who's going to make those decisions for me, or who's going to help me make those decisions? You can have somebody on your side to do that alongside with you. Absolutely. And just kind of guide you through. They're not there to take over, but to kind of guide you through all of those important decisions as we age. So it's a wonderful resource to have.
Absolutely. And having a whole law practice that understands the business of aging and what's important to seniors and where the resources are, and really have their finger on the pulse, because that is something you can say about the law office of Amy Van Fossen, is they have their finger on the pulse.
Yes. So thank you, Amy Van Fossen. Yes, next one.
You want to move on to Avid Home Care?
Avid Home Care, absolutely.
Talk about them.
So Avid Home Care does very similar to what we do, but I think they actually do some hands-on care too. So they go out and help seniors in their home, trying to keep people healthy and at home and happy where they want to be. And I'm not sure what their minimums are, right. But they're wonderful people, wonderful sponsors, have been very active with Helping Seniors of Brevard County, and so we're so thankful for them to be with us and to help keep that senior helpline open, and to be able to keep our Brevard County residents, if they want to stay home, keep them at home and keep them healthy.
Absolutely. I got to spend quality time with Tracy Graff, the owner, administrator there at the Muscle Car Museum for the car raffle. So she and I had a few chuckles out there in the heat checking folks in. So that was a good time.
Yeah, thank you both for that, because that was, we were busy. If you were there were a lot of people, and we were going as fast as humanly possible to get people checked in and get them into the museum.
And thankfully, so many people had suggestions on how to improve that process. So those are being funneled to the appropriate channels.
Oh, yes, we are working on that. We've got a whole list of things that we're going to do a little differently next year to try to just make it even better.
But that was a good time. That was a really good time. So Care Plus health plans. Gosh, I see them all the time. Jennifer, talk a little bit more about Care Plus
everywhere.
health. Yeah.
They really are. They are great sponsors. And of course, right now, they are incredibly busy because it is open enrollment. And so they are helping people with their Medicare options. And I really suggest you go and you talk to them, because you should do it every year, honestly, and look at their drug plans and look at which drug plan is best for you, because the formularies change. I know enough about Medicare to know I don't know.
That you need somebody who knows about
absolutely.
Medicare?
100%. It is
Agreed.
complicated and it changes. So go talk to the experts, because
Agreed.
it is... it's crazy.
It's complicated. And that's why we have all these resources, because one thing that I have learned in my over 20 years, as John was kind enough to point out, of experience in healthcare is, particularly the older I get. When I was young, I think I pretty much knew everything. But clearly, as I've aged, I have forgotten much of it.
I have an 18-year-old who yes,
who knows everything?
Absolutely.
That's so weird. I used to as well. And now the one thing that I know, the less I know. You don't know what you don't know. And so there's no shame in picking up the phone, asking a question, reaching out to any of these resources to get the guidance and direction. Another thing that I learned, when you ask questions, you get the information faster. You can certainly figure it out for yourself, because people have aged this far and are smart cookies, but you can get the information a lot faster if you just reach out and you ask the questions and get kind of on that path to the right direction.
Exactly.
Absolutely. All right. Good conversation so far. Let's talk about Kristen Taylor with Coastal Claims.
Oh my goodness, Coastal Claims. So way back when, in my first lifetime, I actually did work in insurance.
Is that right?
And I worked at an independent agency. And what was good about that is we had a lot of different insurance companies that we represented. So we were all about the client. Well, most of the time these days, the independent agencies are very few and far between. So you're working for one specific company. And a lot of the companies, it feels like that hometown experience has slipped away a little bit. And I've heard so many stories of unfortunate hurricane damage, storm damage, something has happened and the insurance company doesn't want to pay. And that's where an adjuster comes in.
Very good.
And is able to come in and look at the damage and look at the policy, read that all that legalese wording and say, oh no, this should be covered, and can go back and, work on your behalf to get you the money that you need to repair your house. So I know that they have worked with the chambers and been able to get them the actual money needed to be able to fix what needed to be fixed. So,
absolutely. And I would imagine having somebody like this in your corner, particularly as a senior, because I know every year for the past 4 years, I own a home. It's 100 years old. So every year I know that the anniversary of the purchase is coming up because I get dropped from my insurance.
Oh, no.
Every year. So I know getting that letter, the first couple of times, I have to tell you, it kind of stopped my heart and put the fear of I'm going to lose my home in me. So I can imagine as a senior, fixed income, you've been living in your home, and like many of the folks in Florida, you get that letter that says, thank you, but we no longer have an appetite for the risk that your house seems to provide us. So you need to find new insurance. I would imagine having somebody like Coastal Claims would be super important to run that information by, maybe talk about ensuring that they have the right coverages, whatever those type needs are. Would Kristen be a resource for that?
She might be, because she's been there, done that, and she knows what insurance companies are looking at and looking for when they're looking at a property. She's usually more on the side of, though, when something has happened, some damage has been done,
Okay.
and what a horrible time that is. Like,
yeah.
my gosh, I've just lost my roof. And now the insurance company is saying that they're not going to pay for it. And that's where she comes in and says, whoa, wait a minute, let me take a look at that.
Very
And
good.
let me take a look at, you had replacement cost, you had guaranteed replacement cost, and they're only going to give you that? No, that's not how that works.
Okay, good to know. Even if it's not the right question for Kristen, she is certainly
Very knowledgeable.
very knowledgeable in the area to get you in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Very good. So physical therapy, and I love the way they spell this, FYZICAL, Physical Therapy and Balance Center. Ginger and the folks over there, great sponsors of Helping Seniors of Brevard.
Yes, thank you so much. And physical therapy, as you know, Kara, with our seniors, I am such a proponent of this. And I've been working with my dad actually right now, trying to get him into some physical therapy, even if we have to pay for it out of pocket without Medicare taking care of that, because Medicare will pay for physical therapy in certain circumstances. So I suggest that first.
Correct.
And physical will help you with that. But they would also help with, if Medicare won't cover it, which unfortunately with my dad, they're not going to in his certain circumstance. But I'd still really like him to work on his balance, because we don't want to fall. With all seniors, no falling, not allowed, especially around the holidays, no falling.
No, thank you.
So let's prevent a fall by getting some physical therapy, working on those muscles, strengthening up so that we can prevent falls and that we can do the fun things that we want to do.
Absolutely. And physical therapy and balance center has kind of come in and just taken the place by storm, because they have been doing some really, really good stuff with some therapy modalities and some folks. And you can also find them on Facebook, which is where I see them posting their success stories with pictures of their therapy clients. So definitely check out physical therapy. Hibiscus Court. I mean, where do we even start? And we could kind of take the rest of the show between seniors helping seniors and Hibiscus Court. I think we could just wrap up the show. But you talk about Hibiscus Court.
So Hibiscus Court is going to be celebrating their 25th. So they've been around. They've been around a long time. They have, they've been there, done that. They're real close to the hospital there on Hibiscus Boulevard in Melbourne. They've been a longtime supporter of Helping Seniors, a great sponsor, but also, right down there in the ditches with us, helping at the car raffle, sitting on the board, so many different ways that they have helped Helping Seniors. But what a great facility, and how much fun they have.
Correct. They're really doing it right. They've had years to kind of perfect it, and it's kind of a well-run machine. and they're really doing some fun stuff. I think it's the Spark Lifestyle is what they're
Yes.
promoting over there, which is a good time.
Which, and if you've ever been to a party there, and if you are out there, you are more than welcome to volunteer for one of their parties, which we've done in the past. This last prom, they do a senior prom every year, was disco theme.
Boy,
Yeah, it
that's
was
a good time.
I didn't realize how uncomfortable sequins actually are until that party.
Well, you're too young, Jennifer, to have
what-
worn sequins.
Yeah, and I don't think that. I think I'm allergic to sequins, to be honest. but-
Everybody should be. I think that's a fair statement.
But what a great time that we had, and dancing and wonderful food and just a lot of fun, a lot of pictures, different things, bringing back some great memories for their residents, creating some new memories for their residents and families. They know how to do it right. They know how to throw a party, and they're always looking at their residents' interests
Correct.
and making sure they're having a good time.
Yep. They are having a good time. Again, you can catch them on Facebook at their Facebook page, Hibiscus Court.
I think we have time for one more before the break.
One more. All right. Well, then let's wrap up this session with Marissa Mitchell with the Health Plan Markets.
Oh my goodness, another Medicare person. Yes.
That just goes to show we have so many because there are so many questions.
Oh, there really, really are. And there are so many seniors in Brevard County. What does Carrie say? 25% are 65 and over, or more than that? It's more than that.
Sounds right.
So we've
It's a
got
lot.
so many seniors and people turning 65 every day. And people actually, you can go on Medicare before 65 under certain circumstances. So if you are on Medicare or looking at Medicare, please call one of our sponsors that does the Medicare insurance, because like I said before, it is so complicated. I know enough to refer you to someone who knows better.
Right. And just like your home, you don't want to be overinsured, but you don't want to be underinsured. You want to be sure that you've got the right insurance for you.
And every year, check the formularies, because unfortunately they do change. So especially if you are on a medication that's a little bit more expensive, you can end up in the donut hole, which they say doesn't exist, but that's what it's called. And then all of a sudden they're not paying for your medications, or you're paying a lot more money. So it's really important to make sure that you have the correct drug plan for the medications that you're on, and having someone specifically look at those medications every year to make sure, like I said, that you are making the most, getting the biggest bang out of your insurance dollars.
Yeah. Something to look at consistently. It's not something you can do once, and it's not one and done. It's
Unfortunately, no.
It's a regular
Like
review.
you said, you can go out and you can research all of this information yourself, but boy, having somebody else help you with that, an expert, and give you that answer in 15 minutes instead of 3 hours, so worth it.
That's what these great resources are for.
Thank you. We'll be back after break and talk about some more of our resources and what we're thankful for.
12:33 in the afternoon is our time here on 90.3 FM. You're listening to the Wednesday edition of Helping Seniors of Brevard. Your host, Carrie Fink, is off for today, but sitting in, someone far more beautiful, is Jennifer Barton and her very special, beautiful guest, Kara Anderson. And ladies, go ahead. It's
Well,
all
thank
yours.
you for that lovely
Yes, thank
introduction. We are feeling really, really good over here.
I think we should come back every week.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That would be
I think
great.
those compliments would wear off after a while. Not for Jennifer, but for me.
Oh, well, and we're very thankful for you, John.
Absolutely.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
So I am Jennifer Barton from Seniors Helping Seniors, but here on behalf of Joe Steckler, our president, and Carrie Fink, who's up in Georgia, probably playing with a grandbaby right now, our executive director. And thank you for joining us again on the second half of our Helping Seniors radio show. And with me is Kara Anderson from Simplified Senior Living. We are going through our incredible list of sponsors who help us be able to keep that senior helpline going for Helping Seniors of Brevard County. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we had 881 calls in October. Now, some of them were raffle calls and people calling for tickets for our annual fundraiser, but a lot of those calls are looking for resources. And that's what Helping Seniors wants to do, is to educate people of what do we need to prepare for. And then if you have the need, here are the resources to help fill that need. And our sponsors also are helping fill that need in a lot of circumstances with our seniors. So we're going down through the list and letting you know who we're thankful for today and a little bit about what they do.
And we're thankful for these folks today and every day of the year because they do keep the lights on and everything moving forward for Helping Seniors of Brevard. If you haven't been taking notes and writing all of these down, don't worry. You can find all of these sponsors listed on the Helping Seniors website. So they're there. And if you don't want to get on the website, you can always reach out and connect with the office at 321-473-7770.
Yes, and be on the lookout for a Senior Scene magazine because there's always a newsletter tucked right inside the Senior Scene magazine. In the middle, you'll see yellow pages, and that is the Helping Seniors newsletter each month. Great information, great articles, and in the back of that, there is also a directory listing all of these wonderful businesses that are helping sponsor Helping Seniors of Brevard County.
That's right. And Jennifer, if you are not able to get out and about to pick up that Senior Scene magazine or have it dropped at your home, you can always log on to the website, and guess what? It's going to automatically ask you if you'd like to sign up for that newsletter, and it'll drop into your inbox, and all you have to do is open it every time. It comes with all that great information and all these sponsors. And speaking of sponsors, let's get back to being thankful, and we are going to start by being thankful for Jerry Hadlock Jr. over at Medicare Solutions.
Jerry is a wonderful guy, great guy, very helpful, and he is also another Medicare insurance agent, licensed to do business here in Brevard County, and it's open enrollment. So if you have not figured out what you are doing yet and need a little bit of help making a decision, Jerry is another person that can go over all your coverages, go over your medications, and make sure that the policy that you have is a good fit for you, or maybe recommend a different policy that would fit your needs a little bit better.
Absolutely. And to take a complete change of direction, we're going to be thankful for Monarch Homes of Brevard.
Monarch Homes, owned by one of our wonderful board members. Monarch Homes does a great job. They do a beautiful home. And we're so thankful for them to be a sponsor, long-term sponsor. I think Ed has been with us since the very, very beginning as our treasurer, has devoted a lot of his time, talent, and treasure to helping seniors and to helping our Brevard County residents. So thank you so much, Monarch Homes, for your sponsorship.
Very good. And right in line with that, we've got Barbara McIntyre with Reverse Mortgage.
Oh my gosh. Barbara McIntyre. I have to be honest. I was scared of reverse mortgages. It didn't, there was a time frame when maybe it wasn't a good thing. And I had that still in the back of my head and really had to sit down with Barbara, have her explain them to me and how it could benefit a senior. And there are times where it really would be able to help a senior stay at home where they want to be.
Absolutely. My parents worked with Barbara and we're very, very pleased with the results. So Rhodes Law Firm, going back to elder law and how important it is to our seniors.
Oh my gosh, it is so important. There are so many reasons. The paperwork alone, having power of attorney, making sure that you do have a living will, making sure I've got all the way up to pre-need guardian. And if you don't know what that is, you need to talk to an elder attorney like Ruth Rhodes.
Yes, if you are 18 years of age or older, you should have that document.
Yes.
You should have that document for sure. So thank you, Ruth Rhodes and Rhodes Law Firm. And then I hope you'll be able to put a few words together for the next company, Jennifer, a little company called Seniors Helping Seniors.
Seniors Helping Seniors. Yes, that is my company. My mom and I started it a little over 10, almost 11 years ago now. Because we had the need in our own family. Yeah. And we saw the wisdom in having a senior come out to help a senior. That peer-to-peer relationship really works.
So smart.
We took care of great-grandma. You could not tell her anything. She ran a bar in Chicago. There was nothing I could say. Okay. But boy, if her bingo friend said it, it was golden. It worked. She would follow anything that they said. So we did see that, this will work. And it does. We pair seniors together. We do transportation, light housekeeping, meal preparation, anything non-medical that a senior might need. And we're just thankful to be here in Brevard County for that long and to be able to help the people that we help. It really, it touches my heart when we get someone that I just talked to a lady a couple of days ago that we had helped her husband a few years ago, and I didn't honestly think we had done that much. But she had tears in her eyes and hugged me and said, "You did a whole lot more than you thought you did." So very
You have
thankful for
no
that.
idea the impact that you're making.
No,
in
you have
life.
no idea. So
Yeah.
it's so nice when you get a little story like that. It makes us feel really good.
Absolutely. Well, I am thankful for you, Jennifer,
Well, thank
as
you.
well as Seniors Helping Seniors, because you, in your individual capacity, do so much for this community as well. So, and so much
Thank
for
you.
Helping Seniors of Brevard. I mean, she's the first one to jump on. We're looking for different sponsors and helps with different opportunities. And Jennifer says, "Put me on the list." I mean, just no arm twisting or anything. She is right there. Now, speaking of arm twisting, something that you have to do to me to get me into the dentist's office, but not with Dr. Sheldon.
There you go. Dr. Sheldon is another long-term sponsor, has been doing the radio shows, TV shows forever. In fact, I have a client from Titusville that we drive all the way down here to see Dr. Sheldon.
Wow.
She goes from Titusville to Melbourne just to see Dr. Sheldon.
Wow, Solid Bite Dental, Dr. Sheldon,
Yes.
bringing them from all over. Speaking of going all over,
Nice segues.
Thank you. I'm working on them. Senior Travel Club.
Oh, Senior Travel Club. Yay, Chris Morse.
Yes. Is there anything going on with Senior Travel Club? Like coming up?
Of course there is. There is a cruise coming up. I believe it's the first weekend in January, and you still have time to get in on that cruise, and they have not raised the prices yet. I know that's been a question. No, they have not raised. You can still get in on that base price. They have a 2-day of 7 and a 9. And there are still cabins available, so make sure you get yours. We are going.
Oh, wow.
I'm going
Look
on the
at you.
2-day.
Go girl. I love that.
The 2-day is a really nice, just quick getaway. I can go and be back and not miss a day's work.
Okay.
So hey, we're gonna do it. We're gonna have a really great time. Terry Stone from Aging Matters
Oh man, y'all are gonna tear up that
is
ship.
coming with me.
Oh,
so
that's gonna
we're
be a good time.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Very, very cool. So again, if you don't have your pen and pencil right there beside you, you can find all of this information on the website or Helping Seniors Facebook page, or you can connect with the office at 321-473-7770. Am I giving that number too much? Just enough?
Just enough. I
Just
think
enough.
It's perfect.
Okay, making sure. Now, let's talk a little bit about Team Toronto.
Team
Because Tom
Toronto.
is taking over the real estate world, and we are fortunate enough to have him as a sponsor.
We really are, and he thinks out of the box. He was
Yes.
really as a way to say thank you to a lot of the people that have worked with him in the past in the real estate market. He actually brought in a huge group to the Muscle Car Museum and paid for their entry in,
Wow.
paid for their ticket to possibly win a car. So he was wonderful to his
very
customers.
generous.
But that was such a great way of fundraising for Helping Seniors of Brevard County. So thankful for him for doing that for us, and thankful for him. He's a big part of the senior industry in Golden Providers, and working with seniors and making sure that seniors have a real estate agent that they can trust and wraparound services, because gosh, with the move,
Oh, so much.
I hate moving.
So much.
there's so much to think about and do, and he helps with all of that. So thank you, Tom Toronto.
So generous and out of the box are two very good terms, Jennifer, for Tom Toronto. Speaking of generous, someone who has generously given of her time and expertise to this community and its seniors for years and years, Kathy Rowlands over at Total Long-Term Care Consultant Services. I can't remember a time where Kathy wasn't there.
No, she's
really can't.
always been around with in my memory, she's always been there. And she's got a good group. And again, we go back to those case managers who can help when you don't have a family member around to be helpful. They're across the country, or maybe they're unfortunately, they're having some issues too. So who do you rely on?
Correct.
Where do I go for this?
Correct. And I bet there's very, very little on a day-to-day basis that happens that Kathy Rollins hasn't seen before. And certainly if it's new to her, she's going to be nuanced enough to figure that out. She's got a lot of experience behind her and her team there at Total Long-Term Care Consultants. And speaking of a lot of experience, elder law, William A. Johnson, PA.
Mr. Johnson.
Who doesn't know Bill Johnson?
He's been around forever, board certified elder attorney.
Correct.
Involved in so many different organizations.
We can say we knew him before he turned blonde.
Is that blonde or gray?
Well, it was
sorry,
blonde.
Bill.
Well, it was blonde, but just a great guy, a great advocate for seniors in the community. Yeah,
Absolutely. And he's been, again, is around longer than I have been and involved with helping seniors since the very beginning as well. When we reach out, Bill, we need this. Hey, can you supply this for the raffle? Can you do? He always says yes.
That is correct.
So we're
That is
so
correct.
thankful for Bill Johnson for being a sponsor and helping our seniors, again, with all of that paperwork and estate planning, all of that information. Again, just like the insurance with Medicare, you want to go someone who knows what they're doing. With all of the senior estate planning paperwork needs, you don't want just to go to any attorney. You want to make sure that you go to an elder attorney that knows what they're doing.
correct. And with as many seniors as we have in our area, aren't we lucky to have just the caliber of elder law attorneys that we have in our county? We're just super fortunate to have some really, really good people who step up for their community, and you can count on them to say yes. And Bill is definitely one of those people. And last but certainly not least on this list of platinum, gold, and silver sponsors for Helping Seniors of Brevard is going to be Zahn Beachside.
Zahn Beachside. I have to tell you, when Zahn first opened, I took my son over there. He was much younger then. And they had bacon wrapped meatloaf for dinner. And he said, Mom, this is where I want to be. I don't want to be anywhere. The food is amazing. Their activities director, Sammy, amazing. The lifestyle that they provide for the residents. They're one of the only large beachside facilities. So they offer a lot of the beachside residents a place to go where they still kind of feel like they're at home on the beach, but yet are very well taken care of.
Absolutely. And they truly are the gift that keeps on giving, because they do volunteer their space as well as their time for different activities for Helping Seniors of Brevard, not only for the monthly education series over the past few years, but also the party that needs mentioning. Once again, they will be the host location for the December Helping Seniors of Brevard holiday party. That is December 12th. 10:30 to 11:30. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be in their Nautilus ballroom as usual. You do want to call the Helping Seniors of Brevard office, however, and just RSVP your space, because we're trying to figure out how many people are going to actually fit in that ballroom, and we want to maximize that. So if we know you are coming, we will carve out a corner in that round room for you. So please connect with the office.
And I'm sure Chef Jason will be doing something
over
yummy,
the top,
so
no
we
doubt.
want to make sure we have a head count for him as well.
Absolutely. So that's going to be a good time. So thank you, Zahn, for giving of your time, for giving of your location, and giving of resources like your staff and food and the great skills of Jason there, who is also heading up their new residences program. So their new independent living will also have the same fantastic chef. So,
and if you've seen the pictures of that, that will be beautiful.
Yeah. So don't miss out on a free opportunity to come scope out the place and check out the food and just have a good time.
Right, absolutely. Now, we've been very thankful for a lot of our sponsors, and we did mention you, Miss Kara Anderson.
We did.
But what exactly do you do at Simplified Senior Living?
So, in addition to helping folks find their next home, whether it's independent living, assisted living, or memory care, we talk through a lot of moments with seniors and their families. We provide education where we can. We provide information on our website and on our Facebook page. You can find us at simplifyingseniorliving.com on the web, and you can find us at Simplifying Senior Living on, I don't even know
Easy
where
for
I
you to
am
say.
anymore. Simplifying Senior Living on Facebook. And there you're going to find just a variety of resources. I write blogs on a regular basis about all the general information. Just a lot of the questions that a lot of our resources get on a regular basis. And the one you keep bringing up, the documents and having your documents in a row, and it fits right in line with the Helping Seniors of Brevard educational series this past year. The blog that I just posted today is about those 5 documents that should be reviewed on an annual basis. And I'm not going to tell you what those 5 documents are because you've got to go read
There you go.
the blog on simplifying,
information for yourself.
simplifyingseniorliving.com or Simplifying Senior Living on Facebook, and get the information. There's tons there to research. Just trying to answer the questions, give the information that folks need, and have it available in a way that they can return to it time and time again. Because one of the things that I've learned over years working with seniors and their families is that an issue isn't an issue until it becomes personal. So it's nice to hear about Medicare. It's nice to hear about these documents. Those are all fine and good, but I'm not really going to listen until it applies to me.
And
So
that's true. It's so true.
so having that information available just to search, you can search through those blogs and find what it is you're looking for, whether it's legal, whether it's case management, whether it's guardianship, or mobile medical services like a nurse practitioner that comes to your home, or physical and occupational therapy that comes to your home. It's all available there on our website, simplifyingseniorliving.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Now, we do have a few minutes left. I'd love to go over you. We have so many resources. We have so many nonprofits that we work with. We talked a lot about our sponsors, but we work hand in hand with a lot of different nonprofits and making sure that seniors in Brevard County have what they need. Is there a nonprofit that you would like to highlight first?
Man, I'm gonna steal what's easily the easiest one.
You're going to go for Aging Matters.
I am going for Aging Matters.
I
I'm
thought
going
so.
for Aging Matters of Brevard only because I've been involved with them for a very long time. Their Meals on Wheels program, all the different transportation programs that they have for seniors, just veterans helping programs. All of which, by the way, are listed on my website, as well as their website, Aging Matters of Brevard. How do you even talk
They do
about
so many
a resource?
different things here in Brevard County. Aging Matters is the large organization that has many different smaller programs in it, like the Seniors at Lunch program. A lot of people don't know about. And not only do they go and serve lunches, door to door, but they also have a congregate area where different senior facilities. I'm trying to think of where some of the locations are locally here.
Gosh, the senior centers.
A lot of the senior centers where you can go get together with other people and have lunch. A lot of times they will play games, maybe bingo, have a different game. Sometimes they'll have door prizes, just fun things for people to do to kind of get out of the house, get together, have lunch, and have a little social time.
Totally. And not to mention, they've got the whole Sunflower House program there at the Merritt Square Mall. What do they call it now?
Merritt Square Mall.
Is it Merritt Square Mall? Can't remember what they call these malls anymore. But yes, so if you are in the mall, they've got lots of resources in their Sunflower House program, and plenty of educational opportunities. You can see I kind of like the educational piece.
Absolutely.
I like teaching
The
people.
more we know.
That's right. The more you know. News you can use is very important. you go to the Sunflower House, you check out the resources that they have available, check out their calendar of events, and I am sure that they have something that will be of interest to you. And you know what's the most interesting part about it?
What?
It's free of charge, Jennifer.
There you go.
Free of charge. It's just the right price.
They're just helping. And I see that you have another resource open, and I know that Nancy, our information specialist, refers to them often and utilizes them and recommends them and sings their praises. The Resource Center for Disability Solutions up in Rockledge.
Amazing.
They do a phenomenal job. They've been here in the county for a long time. Used to be called Space Coast Center for Independent Living and rebranded, changed their name, but same great organization doing so much, not only for people with disabilities in the county, but for our seniors with disabilities in this county, helping with transportation, with phones, with so many different things. And so thankful for our partnership with them and being able to help our seniors.
For sure. And not only our seniors, but they actually, they are my go-to resource when somebody calls me and it's somebody who is not a senior. It's a younger aged individual who is in need of resources. That's not my wheelhouse, but I know if I send it to that center that they will absolutely have the resources that they need. I mean, that is just what they do each and every day, and they do it really, really well.
Absolutely. I just heard about a new resource that I did not know about. See, even though we've been in the senior industry for a long time, we're always learning too. The Genesis House has a program for women 62 and over who are experiencing homelessness. And believe it or not, that is an issue here in Brevard County, where we've got seniors who have been in an apartment for 30 years and now, because of the housing market,
priced out of it.
They're selling the house, and there's a waiting list to get into Trinity Towers, into Asbury Arms. So where does that person go? All of a sudden, they find themselves out on the street.
Correct.
So really thankful to learn about this new program through the Genesis House. And I guess it's not new, but it's new to me.
Well, it's new to me too, Jennifer.
Thankful.
So I'm thankful you shared that.
Thankful they're around. Yeah. Thank you, Genesis House, for letting us know about that.
That is a fantastic resource and definitely needed with the housing situation that we have here, as evidenced by that's the number one thing I believe that you said folks call into the office for.
Yes, for several months in a row it has been.
Yeah. Clearly on the top of folks' list is what to do about housing. Can't go without mentioning Triad. That's seniors and law enforcement together. That is between the Brevard County Sheriff's Office and local law enforcement, the state attorney's office, also AARP. It's just a group that partners with seniors and senior-related organizations to raise money, take care of folks. I think right now they're doing a lot of Senior Santa.
Senior Santa is running right now. It's like an angel tree for kids, except it is specifically for seniors who are living in skilled nursing facilities that are not going to get anything at this holiday season. So you can go and pick up a Santa head, a tag at One Senior Place, the Schechter Center. There's a couple of different places throughout the county that you can go. You can go on Triad's Facebook page and find out more about that. But you can go pick up. They've got their top 2 wishes. You can bring your unwrapped presents back to the place where you picked up your tag. We collect all of them. I say we because I've been involved with this in the last couple of years.
There you go.
We wrap them all up and we make sure that those seniors get them in time to celebrate. So it's a really nice program. They also run Project Lifesaver, Brevard Triad.
I mean, so many things. We have so many things to be thankful for in Brevard County. I've said it many, many times. If you've ever met me, I grew up here. We are so, so fortunate to have the wealth of resources for seniors that we have in this county. And Jennifer, I'm thankful for this time that I got to spend with you on the day before Thanksgiving. So thank you for putting up with me for this very short hour. Boy, did it fly.
It really does fly by. You think, oh my gosh, what are we going to talk about for an hour? And it always does fly by. So thank you, Kara. Thank you, John and Jim, for being with us today. And thank you for all of our listeners. This is Jennifer Barton with Helping Seniors of Brevard County.